These are my predictions for the South Korea versus Czech Republic game for the FIFA World Cup 2026. Now, this is going to be the second game in Group A, and it's going to be played a little bit, and you can see you can select who will win, when it's going to be available. For my time, I think it should be at around 3-4 a.m. my time, so I'll have to wait and see, but these are my predictions, and you can see the times based on where you are when the games will be available. Now obviously Song Heung-min is going to be featuring for South Korea. He's kind of last game more or less, and you can see a couple of players here from the Czech Republic. So my point is, let's do some analysis and see what our predictions will result in. Now it's going to be about 5 a.m. my time, and this is in Nairobi, Kenya. So it's South Korea versus Czech Republic, and we've already predicted the other game between Mexico and South Africa, and more or less navigated or leaned towards throw-ins, goal kicks, shot toward goal, and fouls. Now, as for this game, the Czech Republic, like South Africa, are coming back to the FIFA World Cup after it's been a long time. So it's going to be also in Mexico, this other game as well. And you can do a quick read through this. I'm using Flash Score, and you can see the win probabilities, the hot streaks and all that. You can see Song Heung-min was the top scorer, scoring 10. And yes, we know he's been playing in the MLS. Based on them, they're looking at a halftime draw. Now, some of these markets are really some of the markets you should look into, and we can look at a quick head-to-head on this game. As we can see here, as for the friendlies, they've performed, that is South Korea, more or less, sometimes winning, sometimes losing. So they won against Ghana, lost to Ivory Coast, lost to Austria, beat Trinidad and Tobago, beat El Salvador, but these are friendlies. Now, as for the Czech Republic, they've won their friendlies as well, which is good to see. And as for the World Cup qualifiers, they had to go into extra time, so they really took it to the wire to get to this one. It's only that they hammered Gibraltar 6-0. Now, they've met before 10 years ago for friendly international. The Czech Republic is ranked 40 by FIFA and South Korea 25. So this is more or less going to be a good game. If I look at the stats for this game when they played, there were about 22 shots, about 5 yellow cards, 1 red card, and then we had about 44 throw-ins, and then we had about 32 fouls. As for the first half, we had at least 11 shots towards goal, and then we had 1 yellow card, and then we had about 17 fouls and about 18 throw-ins. Now, for this particular game, my selections would be more or less based on the markets as I see them, and what I think we might get for this particular game is we're going to get a good number of fouls. Now, the only issue I have with this particular game is the referee. The referee kind of seems not to give out too many fouls. That is something I've noticed. As we can see here, he's called Amin Mohamed Omar from Egypt, and his rate for giving yellow cards is 2.79, so that should tell you it might end up being a very low yellow card game. But what I feel is that based on the recent statistics that I've seen for both teams, they're committing a good number of fouls. So for this game, I'm kind of going to lean towards fouls, and they have some really nice odds for 10.5 fouls in the first half at 1.5. You can also decide to go for 11.5 fouls at 1.77 odds, which is a good alternative for this one. Now, the game might end up being a little bit cagey, and yes, we might have goals. So I'm also looking into both teams scoring this in this particular game, and this is at an odd of 1.84. those are things I'm kind of looking into as the day advances and as we wait. Now, one determining factor of how they're going to perform is how the first game is going to turn out. The game of Mexico versus South Africa, if it ends in a flurry of goals, then let's all wait for what is going to happen, because these are teams in the same group. So if Mexico win here, then South Korea and Czech Republic are going to go at it for this game. But I'm more or less leaning towards fouls, as much as the referee Mohamed Omar does not seem to kind of like give a lot of fouls. And if we actually look at a couple of games he has refereed and look at his refereeing history, like in a full game he gives out about 18 fouls. The first half like 10. Sudan versus Burkina Faso, we got about 15 fouls, and in the first half we had like 7 fouls. Now, as I've mentioned, I'm leading towards the first half, having 10.5 fouls in that particular game. And as for the full time, let me see, we'll probably get 24 fouls. That's probability as well in that particular game, but I'm leaning more towards fouls in this game. Yes, the indications showcase like the referee does not give fouls. Now, I want to kind of back up my selection on that. Go back to the head-to-head and let's look at South Korea versus El Salvador versus Trinidad. And this team is ranked 40, that is Czech Republic, and this is ranked 25th. Let's look at this one as well. So 25, 20, 100. And let's see, they got a good number of shots, and then the free kicks were flurry. So in the recent games, they committed 19 fouls. 19 fouls to 22, and then we've got in the first half they had about 6 fouls. And then we've got Korea Trinidad 25 and 102. Let's look at the statistics. Got 19 shots to 2, and then committed 12 fouls to 10. That's okay. And for the first half they committed about how many fouls? They committed about 7 fouls. Good job. So I'm still leaning towards 10.5 fouls in the first half. And then we've got the game versus Austria. Austria ranked 24th, and South Korea ranked 25th. If we look at the play, okay, they had 5 shots to 11 for South Korea, and then we had free kicks, yes, and then we had about 20 fouls. Now, if we look at the first half, let's see, the first half had about 13 fouls. Now, I'm still leaning towards the first half. Fouls 10.5 at 1.5 odds, that might be a good market. Let's see, how has the Czech Republic performed? And I'm actually going to go into the competitive matches for Czech Republic versus Denmark versus Ireland, because the World Cup is competitive. Everybody wants to qualify for the next stage. So we see the Czech Republic versus Denmark, and then we look at the stats. The Czech Republic committed 20 fouls to 11. Remember, there was extra time, so how many fouls did they commit in the first half? They committed 13 fouls, and then in the second half they committed about 5. Now, as for the Czech Republic versus Ireland, we had, let's see, the shots are okay, and then we had the fouls as 25-14. What did we have for the first half? The first half we had about 11 fouls committed by Czech Republic and 4 by Ireland. And then the second half we had the Czech Republic commit 10 fouls and Ireland commit 7. So I'm rooting for the fouls market based on my analysis and predictions. That's what I feel, and I do feel we're actually going to get about 24 fouls for the full time, and then we're going to get about 10.5 fouls first half, 11.5 fouls, even 12.5 fouls for this particular game. Those are more or less my predictions for the FIFA World Cup 2025, the South Korea game versus Czech Republic. That's it for this video. Until next time, keep it stats fast football.